Your own understanding, truth under Babylon's empiricism. What up? So yeah, so our government has actually acknowledged UFOs, or at least unidentified aerial vehicles, and also unidentified submerged vehicles or submerged objects, um, in and out of the water. I was actually told a while ago a story from a dude I used to work with, and he said to me he was in the military. It was years ago. I was actually working with this guy back in 2000, and he told me a story when he was in the military. I believe it was in the 80s that he was speaking when he had his deployment. Anyway, he was in the Navy, and he said that he had to. Uh, he was on deck watch duty, and on deck watch duty, there were shifts, and you would stand on the deck and you'd basically just watch, watch the water, watch the bow, watch your sector, your part of the ship that you were on. And he said on his shift, he would notice he would notice objects, flying objects, that would shoot down into the water and then shoot out. And he would ask his captain, hey, like, what's going on? So the captain was like, these things go on, da 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 da. So after a few times of witnessing this, throughout the different days, uh, he said that he was actually sent to one of the generals. Him and everyone else on his shift was sent to the generals, and they had to talk about what they saw. And by the time the meeting was over, uh, he basically explained that what they saw was nothing. And that story back then kind of, it was like, yeah, I kind of get it. Um, more um, more conspiracy theories, more quote unquote conspiracy theories, more stories about things that the government's hiding, and things like that. So anyway, he kind of elaborated on the story a little further. He said, yeah, he said, well, there's times when he knows that America and China would actually have little war games where they would shoot off to the airspace of China and shoot off little missiles, and come back just to see how fast they would respond to it, and China would do the same thing to them. Um, and this is what his testimony basically revealed about the little games that they play with each other. And that was just a little extended part of the story that he added. Um, so anyway, my thing is, at this point, and I want everyone to really think objectively. At this point, when they say, because they actually put out the fact that, like I said, they are acknowledging these things that they are chasing, and other stuff that's going on. So at this point, what are we to actually believe? What are we to hold on to? What are we to assert as citizens of Earth? Meaning, if we are in the middle of what they call the unknown, and all we have is information coming from people who we know are bent on oppressing, information and bent on oppressing or suppressing information and oppressing people and control. This is what we've all been living under. It's been proven. So when it comes to things like this, quote unquote aliens, you got to think, how could they use this type of information to manipulate and control the population? That's it, no more, no less. Because anything that you consider alien is anything you don't know about. So you can actually have information considered alien. You can have things that you never heard of because you never heard it or you're not familiar with it. You can consider that alien. So if information that you're getting, um, that you otherwise did not have, it's just like the characters of what they are explaining to you about the UFOs and stuff. They are alien because you don't know what they are. But that doesn't mean that they're not from here. That doesn't mean that they're not objects that have been here or things that we just don't know about, where they can use our ignorance to explain a whole theater of nonsense, and you go for it, and further be manipulated and controlled by the things that they say and do. Other than that, are we going to give up our masks for tinfoil hats now? Is that what's going to happen? It's a whole lot of things happening in regard to the psyche and the human condition and ways to manipulate it and ways to control. And there's a lot more to this, but I'm going to start to end this with just because someone says UFO or alien or something that you're not familiar with or thing that you may think or speculate about, they're talking about these things, doesn't mean that fear is the first thing that should come to the condition of you. Fear should not be what motivates your thoughts and your movements. So do research, objective research, and talk to people. Don't forget to talk to people.